Coast. Everything looked normal that morning. It wasn't. Coast. Owen Bellamy was 5 months old and had been sniffly for 2 days. The ordinary kind of infant sniffly that every parenting book categorizes under normal and expected and watch and wait. His mother, Simone, was a kindergarten teacher and approached early childhood illness with the same calm she brought to classrooms. Coast, observe, document, don't escalate. His temperature was 99.1 degrees. His color was good, he was eating. She had no reason to worry. Harlo had other information. Coast. The Bernese Mountain Dog had come to them 3 years before Owen. A rescue at 18 months. Enormous and gentle. 110 pounds of tricolor fur that moved through the house like a slow warm weather system. He slept near the bedroom. Coast. He had adjusted to the baby's arrival with what Simone described to her sister as suspicious ease. No jealousy, no acting out. Just presence, just watching. The watching had changed 2 nights ago. Coast. Harlo had always slept near the hallway. Now he was inside the nursery doorway, stretched out across the threshold, not entering the room, but not leaving it either. Simone stepped over him 4 times during the first night. By the second night, she had started stepping around him. Coast. By the third night, she simply accepted it. The dog had decided something, she didn't know what. Her husband, Jerome, noticed the behavior on day 4 and gave it a name. He's worried about the baby, Jerome said in the same tone he might say, he knows there's food in the bag. Ben in? Animal intuition? Coast. Cute even. He took a video of Harlo stretched out in the doorway and texted it to his mother, who responded with 3 heart emojis. Nobody thought it was anything more than that. Coast. Day 5. Owen was still sniffly. His breathing had a slight quality to it that Simone noticed in the afternoon. Not labored, just different, slightly faster than usual when he was resting. She held him against her chest for an hour. His breathing against her sternum felt quick. Coast. She mentioned it to Jerome in passing. The way you mention things when you're not sure if they're worth saying. That night, Harlo did not lie in the doorway. Coast. He was inside the room, sitting upright beside the crib, facing it. Not lying down, not relaxed. Sitting with the specific stillness of something that does not intend to move. Simone found him at 2 a.m. Coast. When she went to check, she stood in the doorway looking at this enormous dog, motionless, beside her infant son's crib, staring at the baby. She picked Owen up. Coast. She did not have a name for what she felt in those first 2 seconds. The weight was right, the temperature was right, but his breathing against her neck was fast. Too fast, the kind of fast that is its own argument. She counted. 72 breaths per minute. Coast. The normal resting rate for an infant is between 30 and 60. She woke Jerome at 2:09 a.m. They were at the children's urgent care by 2:45. Coast. Dr. Santiago Reyes, pediatric medicine, 9 years, assessed Owen in 8 minutes and made the RSV diagnosis from the respiratory presentation and nasal swab together. Coast. Bronchiolitis was beginning, the secondary inflammation that follows RSV in infants, the complication that narrows the airways and makes breathing a labor. Owen's oxygen saturation had dropped to 93%. Normal is 95% and above. Below 90% becomes critical territory. Coast? Dr. Reyes looked at Simone over Owen's head. She looked back at him. How long has he been breathing like this, he asked. She didn't know how to answer. She didn't know how long. She had not heard it clearly enough to measure it until the dog sat down beside the crib and refused to move. Coast. Owen was admitted. He spent 2 nights on supplemental oxygen while the bronchiolitis peaked and resolved. By the 3rd morning, he was breathing at 52 per minute. He came home in 4 days. Coast. If you stay for stories about what animals sense, before we do, you are in exactly the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. In the weeks that followed, Simone sat with the timeline. Night 1, Harlo moves to the doorway. The sniffles began. RSV is establishing. Coast. Night 3, he moves to inside the room. Infection spreading toward the airways. Night 5, he sits upright beside the crib and does not lie down. The bronchiolitis is beginning. Oxygen beginning to drop. Coast. The dog was not performing comfort. He was performing surveillance, recalibrating his position each night as the readings changed. Coast. What RSV produces in infant breath as it progresses. The inflammatory compounds, the shifting chemical signature of stressed respiratory tissue, is detectable to a dog in ways that entirely bypass human perception. Simone is not a nurse. Coast. Jerome is not a medic. Neither of them had the framework to hear what Owen's breathing was telling them. Harlo had been reading a version of it all along. Coast. Has your dog ever slept differently around your child during an illness? Closer or differently positioned or simply not where they usually were? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Coast. Harlo sleeps in the hallway again now. Not across the threshold, not upright. The slow weather system sprawl that means everything is as it should be. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who never asked for anything in return. If these stories matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Coast. Some nights, Simone checks the baby monitor twice. Some nights she checks it once. Some nights she looks at the hallway first and trusts what she sees there.